The next subject on our programme is Mr. Billings. Mr. Billings is a casual teacher. Every morning he wakes early and prepares himself for the possibility of receiving a call from a school requiring his services for the day. But it has been 2 long years since he received such a call. And as each day passes, his dreams seem more and more unattainable.
Breakfast of champions. Because I am like an elite athlete in many aspects, really. Whereas my mind is the muscle that I've trained over my life. Cookies, Arnott's assorted creams. So that's my breakfast. If the body is constantly given one thing, it gets comfortable with that. So when I am called up to a job, and I mean, I'm sure you all know what teaching and staff rooms are like, you know, it's coffee, it's creams, it's things that you can have on the go because it's a hectic day, you know, you're writing reports 1 minute, you're telling the kids to stop doing that the other, and you're running around crazy, and you might only get 2 seconds to grab a Vicky, a quick cup of tea. So if the body is ready for that, you know, I can go from 8 AM to 4 PM onto Monte Carlos. That's one down.
A casual teacher will often know before 7:30 AM whether their services are required. After a solid breakfast, Mr. Billings checks his phone. Today, like all the days over the last 2 years, his services are not required.
You know, today's another day. But every day I practice, no matter whether I get called in or not, I practice, because when you get the call, it's like being an elite sports star. You get the call, you've got to be ready, you know? You've got to be ready to go and attack. So, I'm ready to attack. So, practice positions, everyone. There's no one else here, but it's fun.
So, Mr. Billings, what exactly are you doing?
I am practicing my marking skills. What I do is I get a section of the daily newspaper and I go through it for spelling errors, grammatical errors, any kind of error. It just keeps me on my toes. And I do this for about an hour a day. But it's good, I usually choose the Sydney Morning Herald because the editors are quite educated, learned people, and there's usually not a lot of errors, but if there isn't that many, some days, you know, I still mark a few things. I do the opposite, mark good things, because you know, just as many ticks as crosses you need to do. Practice my circling, my underlining, make sure I get a perfect 180-degree line, flat. Sometimes I'll curl it up at the end, but you know, that's for those happy days. Practice little smiley faces. So, along with my practicing on marking, I also practice a live simulated classroom environment. I set up a few chairs with a few little students, and I do a class. And I'll do this for...
Put that down.
This is the main job of my day. I do about 3 hours, and different scenarios I'll throw in there, because there's few times you don't know which school you're going to go to, and some students at some schools are a bit more violent than others. Some smuggle weapons in. I remember I had an incident with a protractor one time. It was quite scary, actually, quite harrowing. So I set this up to practice because as a casual teacher being thrown into a foreign environment, you need to be able to deal with all kinds of situations. So I practice a live classroom environment. And it's my favourite part of the day, actually, because you know, it's like running out onto the field, but you know, the practice field, but it's still good. It's still fun. That's better. Have respect for your other... Have respect for Philip.
So, Mr. Billings, what made you decide to become a casual teacher and not a full-time teacher?
Well, I started out as a full-time teacher. After university, I was lucky enough to get a full-time role at a school, quite an established, respected school. And it was about 2 weeks into the first term. I was teaching a geography class, and I was just too excited with the curriculum and the idea of children learning that I wasn't paying attention. And there was this one child, and he'd smuggled a compass into my geography class. I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't looking, but the children said that one of the boys lunged at another boy with the compass, and it was brand new, so it was quite sharp. And yeah, I didn't get fired, but I just couldn't handle the full-time role. You know, I couldn't handle that responsibility of having to do the class work, set it for the children, keep an eye on everything. I taught netball, coached. I was the Year 9 form master. I was just doing too much. So casual is a bit more lenient, you know, you turn up, that's the work set for you, basically you just supervise. So I can keep my eyes on the children at all times. Because if I don't, then I'm afraid it's going to happen again. And that I cannot live with. I cannot have another child's blood on my hands. Oh, there was a red pen nearby. A lot of people work 2 jobs, sometimes 3, whereas myself, I am a casual teacher. It's all I've ever wanted to do. It's all I want to do with my day. So I find activities to entertain myself, but I like boredom. Boredom is not the enemy, you know. Find things to do, you know, idle hands do the devil's work.
Having the camera present seems to have made Mr. Billings more self-aware of his isolation and depression about his teaching career. And as another day trudged by, we began to understand why. All this man wants to do is educate.
Hello?
Just when it seemed life had given up on Mr. Billings, a local prestigious high school calls and asks if he will casual teach.
I remember it quite fondly, yes, that was, what, a year and a half ago, yes. Okay. Yes, I've got my books, some biscuits for late lunch, afternoon tea. I've got a cup I can share around, you know. I'll be like a fad, you know. Yeah. But it's all good, and I'm teaching French and woodwork. I don't actually know anything about those subjects, but that's casual teaching. Are you gonna come with me, or should I leave you inside? Or?
And so, Mr. Billings' dream stayed alive for yet another day.
That's why I do it. Shall we begin?